Nice and quick.
Well, we don't know that it's quick, but he says it's done.
All right, Florence.
Very nice to see.
I think she looks nice in blue. You look fabulous.
But again,
Hello everybody, welcome to the Patriot Show. I'm your host, Anthony Stephen Malone. Today we are honoured to have a very special guest on the show, Baird OAM, patron of the Victoria Cross Trust and father of Cameron Baird, posthumously awarded the Victoria Cross, BCMG. Hello Doug, how are you?
Yeah, good morning Anthony, and good morning or good afternoon, whatever it may be to your listeners.
Exactly, mate. Thank you as always for coming on to the show as well. My viewers will find this this interview very interesting because of who you are and a lot of the work that you do as well. For some of my viewers who do not actually know you, can you give us a little brief background about yourself, please?
Look, I'm a Victorian-born person, born in 1950, which makes me 70 years of age. I was lucky enough to be a reasonably footballer. I played at the highest level in Australia, AFL, was coached by the great Ron Barassi at the Carlton Football Club. I am a plumber by trade, and quite often when I get a bit rough around the edges, I'm going to say, well, you are talking to an old plumber. And so look, as the years have gone past and I've retired, I now act as the president of Cam's Cause Charity. I hold a number of positions, which you've mentioned, one being patron of the Victoria Cross Trust. I'm also vice patron of the Commando Welfare Association here in Australia. I'm ambassador for TPI Victoria. I am also ambassador for the Anzac ribbon. And I hold one or two other minor ones, but they're major to me as well. And so that's basically my life. I'm a 70-year-old, old, grumpy old man at times.
Good man. Your name, it originates in Scotland as well, isn't it?
It certainly does. The Baird clan have got a very distinguished name. I was very fortunate to marry my wife, who was a Stuart by her maiden name. So yeah, the Baird and the Stewarts combined together and produced two sons, our oldest boy being Brendan, once again a lovely Scottish name, and of course Cameron, our youngest son, Cameron. And so I don't think we can get much Scottish than that.
Exactly. Well, I'm English and you're Scottish, so it's going to be an interesting interview, isn't it? Happy days.
It will be, I'm sure.
Happy days, mate. Right, a lot of my viewers would have heard the name of your son, who won obviously posthumously the Victoria Cross. Can you tell us a little bit about your son when he was growing up?
Look, Cameron was from a very young age, had great empathy and understanding of other people. And I think that's one of the things that distinguished him later on in life. He was a rather large boy, even at the early age of, around about 9 and 10, playing football, playing sport in general. He was quite large and was quite dominant. But he was also very much aware of the fact that he was large and dominant, and that's where the empathy come in. And I think probably he was very cautious when playing team sports, not to hurt, not to knock over a smaller type opponent. But as the years progressed and he got older, he was an outstanding footballer as well. He was should have been drafted to the AFL had it not been for a serious shoulder injury. By the way, that shoulder injury, originally he was rejected when he made application to Army. Army declared that that soldier, that shoulder injury was so severe that he wouldn't be able to handle the rigors of a normal Australian soldier. And in actual fact, they said, we don't want you. So he decided to fight that. And he fought that, and he won that battle. And he proved to them that the shoulder was as good, if not better, than what it was prior to the accident. So that started his military career. But part of his sporting accolades as well, he was an Australian discus champion, and probably could have went on and possibly represented the country at either Commonwealth or maybe even Olympic Games. So he had a broad spear of different things. He loved his music. He played guitar and was a great heavy metal fan, a great AC/DC fan. But on the same token, he understood and did listen to opera. So I think he took things in pretty much so that he took it very seriously, understood what it was all about, and appreciated those type of things. And I think that's what sort of like forged his way into the Army. And of course, going to Kapooka to do his basic training, he was lucky enough to be awarded Most Outstanding Soldier. And that was the start of the tick in the box, which allowed him to go through to Special Forces. And I might add too that over the last 4 years, the Most Outstanding Soldier now coming through Kapooka is awarded the Corporal Cameron Baird VCMG Award. So that's great recognition for him as a soldier, and I think the Australian Army recognises Cameron for the person who he was. So yeah, Cameron is a young guy who went and done his basic training. He then went through, was sent to, at the time, 4 RAR, which were in the process of changing over to a Special Force Regiment, 2 Commando. And because of the outstanding past of Cameron through his basic training, and that allowed him to get a foot in the door. And he, as history has proved, he is the second youngest commando to be qualified to wear the green beret. And that all happened at a very young age, and his career progressed from there. He actually, in the very early stages, was thinking about making application for SASR. And SASR came back and said that, no, you're too young, you're probably inexperienced, you need to have 3 or 4 years in the regiment and then possibly make application. So he decided that he would stay with the commandos, and he went through and eventually worked up to be a team commander and held the rank of corporal, even though he technically was doing the job of a sergeant and getting paid accordingly. He felt deep down that had he taken on the 3rd stripe and become a sergeant, there was a chance that he may be pulled off frontline duty and caught with some desk stuff, and that was exactly what he didn't want. So he put that off as long as he possibly could. And in actual fact that had he survived that tour, and his last tour in 2013, he would have come back and completed the last 2 weeks of his sergeant's course, and he would have then been promoted to the 3rd stripe and become a sergeant. That just didn't happen. But yeah, Cameron was extremely loyal person to not only his friends but his teammates, and quite often the word love is not shared much by soldiers. It's seen to be a bit on the sissy side, but Cameron, he mentioned that quite often. He told his soldiers that he loved them and he respected them, and I think that in turn made Cameron the soldier that he became, because he not only had the empathy, he had the understanding, he had the support, and he had that respect of his fellow soldier. And they had great confidence as him as being a team leader. So that's probably it in a nutshell. We could talk a lot about it, and I guess all parents think that their son or their daughter's the greatest thing. But there wasn't too many bad apples in Cameron's little case. He was pretty much on the mark.
No, I've got a lot of friends in Australia, and I serve with a lot of the Australian military across the Middle East as well. And your son is highly regarded in all circles. So yeah, but it's just, I wanted people to hear a little bit about him. Not everything that's always in the press, or people always focus on why he won the Victoria Cross. I was interested, and I think my viewers be interested, in the man behind that. And obviously now, with you being his father, it's quite easy to understand why your son ended up being something very special as well. I just want to just confirm a point. Your son done 6 tours. Is that correct?
He done 5 into Afghanistan, he done 2 into Iraq, and he done 1 into East Timor. East Timor being a peacekeeping mission, but that was his first deployment.
Yeah, yeah. So he's obviously he was a very experienced soldier as well. And
Oh, most definitely, yes.
yeah, and speaking to some of the guys who were under him as well, he took care of the younger ones. He took them under his wing as well. And yeah, okay. Obviously he won the Victoria Cross. Moving on slightly from that, you also have been awarded the Order of Australia. Can you speak a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, look, Anth, that's to me, when it was first put to me that this is what was going to happen, I thought long and hard about it. I thought that I'm part of a group of people that are working, you know, they're calm on top of the water, but their feet under the water are paddling pretty hard to try and raise money to support our veterans and our current serving members. And I wasn't sure whether this was something that, you know, that would sit well with everybody. And I wasn't sure in my own mind as whether, firstly, I deserved it. And then we, as a family, we sat and we spoke, and we know that when Cameron was first awarded the Medal for Gallantry, he actually knocked it back. And he knocked it back on the grounds that he didn't believe that an individual award should be given. He was just part of the team, just doing his bit. Yeah. I might add that his bit that he did do on that day was outstanding and exceptional, but his thoughts were, why me? Why not the whole team? He eventually decided to take that on behalf of the team. And we decided as a family I would accept the Order of Australia on the basis that I am the representative, the president of CAM's cause, and represent a number of other organisations. And the actual OAM was about service to the families of the fallen and to our current serving vets. And I thought, well, long and hard, that yes, that would be something that I would be proud of, which I am. Yeah. So yes, I did decide to take it on those bases.
Yeah, it's thank you. Any help anyone can give a lot of the veterans, especially coming from yourself and your family as well, it is deeply appreciated to the veterans in Australia and obviously the United Kingdom. The veteran, a lot of veterans are going through a hard time at the moment everywhere, throughout the world, for want of a better word, because of COVID, and a lot of them have obviously seen some quite horrific things on the battlefield. They've come out the military, they've transitioned to civilian straight, and they've found it quite difficult. Have you got a message to any veterans that are out there who are going through a hard time at the moment?
Yeah, look, certainly one of the things that we find in the work that we're doing is that soldiers in general are a little bit reluctant to step forward, to put their hand up, to ask for help. And that should not be seen as being belittling or begrudging or anything like that. I would hope that if any soldier, whether it's male, female, Army, Navy, Air Force, whatever it may be, that if they are in a situation where they feel as though they're alone and they do need help, is to step forward. It's the old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make that horse drink. And we find this with soldiers at the moment that, you know, the minute we try and force them to attend some sort of meeting or some sort of get together, you don't get the result you're actually after. And what we found with CAM's cause, because we run a number of wellness camps through 2 Commando, is if you can get that soldier onto a riverbank and with a line and just do a bit of fishing and a bit of talking, he will start to relax and he will start to talk. And we find that they tell their story and all of a sudden that little lock becomes undone, and it's the start of the progression of them becoming better. So I would say without a problem in the world to please seek support. Please don't lock yourself away. There are organisations which can help. And if it doesn't suit you, just go to another one. It's as simple as that, but please come forward.
Yes, thank you for that. I think my viewers, a lot of veterans who watch my show would really appreciate what you've just said there. You've touched on it again very briefly there, Cam's course. Can you explain a little bit what that is, please?
Look, that's something that it came about by a strange meeting. It was Cameron's primary school teacher, grade 5 and grade 6, met up at a shopping centre with one of Cameron's best mates and also a student of this particular teacher. And they were obviously discussing Cameron's passing. And they felt that, as a respect to Cameron, they'd like to maybe run a function somewhere. And if they can raise $5,000 or so, they can donate that, excuse me, to a military foundation or a military charity which can help that serving members or those getting out. We found that that particular meeting included 3 other people that joined very quickly, and they were all Cameron's schoolmates. And the Cam's Cause team is now made up of a school teacher, a school principal, a electrician, a IT man, and a full-time fireman. That's Cam's Cause. And that first night that they had a Cam's Cause event, they were hoping for 5,000. They had to shut the doors for health reasons at 287 trying to get into this venue. They didn't raise 5,000, they raised $35,000, of which within 48 hours, they donated $30,000 to the Commando Welfare Trust straight up. And they retained 5, which was the basis of them moving forward. And I can say now we are a registered non-for-profit charity, have been for the last 4.5 years. We've raised close to $700,000, of which we don't keep money. We raise money and it goes to different projects. We are extremely fortunate. We have our Governor General, David Hurley, is our patron. We have people like Brenda Nelson, Australian War Memorial Director, as an ambassador. We have Sir Peter Cosgrove as an ambassador. And we have a number of other people too that probably don't have as high profile, all working for the same thing, and that is for our veterans. And I must say too, we are also very keen to support our first responders, our ambulance, our police, our firemen as well, although predominantly, we support 2 Commando simply because 2 Commando had the most killed in action in Afghanistan and the most wounded. And some of those guys now, as veterans would know, if you were shot, sometimes that wound will heal. But if you've got nerve damage, that will go for years and years, if not the rest of your life. And that's what we're fighting against. That's why we're raising the money to make the lives of these guys who have served better or as best at what it possibly can be.
Yeah,
that's Cam's Cause's goal.
Yeah, no, it's the work that you do. From little acorns grow big oaks. It's helping so many people. But congratulations on that, and a massive thank you from veterans everywhere. I've got a lot of close friends in Australia as well who are veterans. Coming to the weekend now, it's quite a big weekend coming up in Australia, isn't it? Can you explain this one?
Oh, look, Anzac Day coming up is there's two big events each year, of course, Anzac Day and Remembrance Day. Anzac Day this time here is one where it's probably 3 to 4 weeks out or even longer that the invitations will come in, and at the moment we have 7 in front of us, but the decision was made that this year I was going to attend the Burnie RSL, where Cameron was born in Tasmania, a small town on the northwest coast of Tasmania. There won't be as many TV cameras or press there as what there will be in some of the major ones. But I think it's time that I go back to the grassroots and give something back to the town of Burnie. And it also gives me an opportunity with the COVID affecting a large one like it is here at Currumbin, RSL on the Gold Coast where I live. we have 25 to 30,000 people attend that. This year, it's only a fraction. Our family decided that our special invitation 2 tickets would be allocated to one of the other vets that have served, that would allow them to go rather than for us to go because of the numbers. And that opened the door for me to go to Tasmania and do what I'm going to do over there. But yes, it's a very big week. I'm actually guest tonight, which is Friday over here at the moment, of the Titans Rugby Football Club.
Right.
NRL, and of course you'd have your Super League over there and that. This year the Titans have struck a special award. It's the Corporal Cameron Baird VCMG Award, and that will be presented to the Titans player after the game by myself and my wife. We're actually playing the South Sydney Rabbitohs tonight, so we hope to have a win. But it's just a jam-packed next 5 days. I depart tomorrow morning early for Tasmania. I spend 5 days down there. I'm actually attending a special function down in Hobart on next Tuesday, and that is a gathering for the first time of all the Tasmanian-born Victoria Cross recipients as well. So that's a special thing. I guess at the end of the week, I'm going to be a tired little boy and be looking forward to having a bit of a good sleep.
Yeah, well, everyone who I know in Australia down at the moment is really looking forward, because birthday in Australia is a big thing, and it's great to get everyone together, especially after the past year or so with everything that's happening on COVID. I just want to get my viewers to understand this. Your son Cameron got obviously awarded the VC, but he received the 100th one awarded to people in Australia, or person from Australia. Can you speak a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, look, it's a wonderful honour. It's obviously it's a wonderful number, 100, because it came about as we were just on or just past the 100-year mark of Anzac. So there was a synergy there in that. And it's a story that we often tell. I attend a lot of schools. I speak at a lot of schools. I talk about, being good people and, what the Army does and why we live in such a great country. But I tell the story about a gentleman named Neville House. Neville House was a doctor, and he was Australia's very first Victoria Cross recipient, and that happened in 1900 in the Boer War. Neville was the group he was with came under an ambush from the Boers, and soldiers on their retreat, a soldier had his horse shot from underneath him, and he was also wounded himself. Neville rode back onto the battlefield under fire, got that soldier up onto his horse and ran alongside it off the battlefield under fire. So Neville was our very, very first Victoria Cross recipient, and almost 100 and something years after, Cameron come along and was the Australian 100 Victoria Cross, and we are just so proud of that fact. And I've met relatives of Neville House, and we've had a coffee, we've exchanged our thoughts and our views of our families, and it's just a wonderful thing to be part of the Victoria Cross.
No, yeah, to be number 100, it's that is something a little bit special. The VC is special anyway. So yeah, what I would like to say is thank you for coming on to the show as well, onto the Patriot show, and thank you for sharing your story and a little bit of background about a plumber in Australia who's also the father of Cameron as well. So I'd like to say thank you so much to you and your family. I hope you all have a fantastic Anzac Day. I know you will. You'll crack open a couple of cold ones and you will enjoy the weekend. Hi, Doug.
Look, Anthony, I would just like to say thank you very much for your extreme kind words. They're never taken for granted, and they're very much appreciated. And I would like to take the opportunity to wish your listeners nothing but the best, good health, and please stay safe, abide by the rules, and live a long, happy life. And once again, thank you very much, and kind regards to yourself and your family. Thank you, Anthony.
Hi, Doug. Thank you so much. If you can stay on the line for a minute, I'm just gonna say goodbye to my viewers as well. Well, everybody, thank you for watching the Patriot Show. It's been an absolute honor and a privilege having Doug on, who's been speaking about his son Cameron as well. We wish everyone the best for the weekend. Take care and stay safe. Catch you on the next show. Goodbye.